Hello everybody and welcome to the ITK Soccer Show. It's the 17th of August 2017 and the first week of Premier League action is wrapped up. We'll be talking about that, as well as the recent transfer stuff, Diego Costa, the fall of Barcelona, which really involves the Spanish Super Cup. And do we have anything else to talk about besides that? There's the main topics.
Football.
Bit of football. All right, we'll start with the news anyway. We were talking about Diego Costa just a second ago. So he has his feet up in Brazil, and they're saying that they won't sell him until he comes back to training to prove his fitness. And he's saying, no, not at all.
Did you hear the story about like what happened? Basically, some Daily Mail reporter like rocked up to Diego Costa's house and rang the doorbell at half time during the Burnley-Chelsea match. And Diego Costa's like, what do you want? It's like, minute of your time. It's like, yeah, come in, watch the entire second half with him. Costa was cheering on Chelsea. At one stage, Diego Costa's dad goes, what's the score? It's like 3-0 Burnley. They're shite.
That's true.
Yeah.
Was they called his house in like Rio or something, was it?
Yeah, in Brazil. And he just said, yeah, I've been told, even my friends like can't talk to me. He's been like absolutely like gone, and he's just not gone.
Well, I think Conte doesn't want him there.
Yeah, Conte's
like they cash in on him when they can. I think he's a nutter, like, but
no, I think if they cashed in when they could have, it's January. Now no one's really going to pay over
This is the thing. It's such a weird thing.
But if they don't want him, or if he's saying he's not going to play for the club again,
he's saying that he won't even come back to training.
Yeah, if he won't go back to training, can they not go while you're in breach of contract, and then he has to pay himself out of his clause and give him like 30 million?
I think if he's in breach of his contract, they can fire him, but then they'll lose out on the asset. Like.
Exactly, and I think as well they can afford to sell him for more if his fitness is proved. So
I don't know if they get more than 30, 40. I really don't.
They'll get less than that now. The way he's acting.
Like, I don't think they'll get more. Like 30 million, I think is because the whole thing is like Atletico Madrid can't buy him until January.
Put it this way: he's on the beach in Brazil, and no one's made offers for him. So at least they feel if they get him back into the country, they can.
But he says he's only going to Atletico Madrid, or else he his contract.
Well, I'm sure he would go somewhere on loan for 6 months.
But it was very weird though. Even coming to the FA Cup final last year, the whole text message thing a few weeks after that, like he looked. The end of the FA Cup final, like I think he scored and all.
No, I think his mind is made up in January. Do you remember the story came out that they were about to sell him to China? Yeah. And then ever since that, Conte had no interest in him, and he wasn't even that good, like compared to his first half of last season when he was the best striker in the league. Almost. Yeah. And then the second half where he absolutely dipped off. Chelsea still had enough to win the league, but
Ronald Koeman said that he would take him for 6 months if he could before he goes with Atletico today, for what it's worth.
Well, that's it. Like they could just loan him out to
I think that's more
AC Milan, or I don't think they'll loan him to an English club. Well, I tell you what, they might actually loan him to an English club and put a clause that he can't play against Chelsea, do the damage against our rivals, and there's an agreement to go to Atletico Madrid.
Can you put a clause in to be cup tied if you're loaned to a Premier League team?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you can play.
Of course you can. Wilshere didn't play against Bournemouth. Like they can. The only team I've never seen it actually implemented was when Real Madrid loaned out Morientes to Monaco, and then he scored the goals and knocked them out of the Champions League.
There was a famous one where Newcastle gave Portsmouth Amiobi or something, or Lua or something, and he scored, and he scored, and it's like, yeah, we're the only team that didn't put that rule in. Like
though. Like
we'll go.
I could see definitely a loan, and then just move to Atletico in January. And then Griezmann to move in the summer. So
probably we'll get to the Burnley and Chelsea game. It's probably the game on Saturday we'll talk most about in a moment. Coutinho. So have we? Okay, so it was last week that FSG released a statement after we recorded the show, and within an hour of that, they got an email transfer request. And now supposedly the reports are that Barcelona had planned to unveil him before the weekend, cancelled it, and planned to announce the signing this week. And Coutinho has basically said he's going to go on strike as well. He's not in Melwood, he's not training, so he's doing all of this via
Well, he apparently has a back injury, and Klopp came out today and said, yeah, the medical team are fine. He has a back injury.
But does he have a back injury?
I don't think so.
Like, you look at this as like Costa, I don't know what his deal is. Sanchez was sick. Then he's got a leg injury.
Well, Sanchez is back now, right?
I think he's back not for this weekend. Wenger says, maybe the weekend after. Then who else wants out? All these players who are like Barkley, mysterious injury going on there. All these players, they're just coming up with it. Like, and if they say, I've got pain in my back, and it's like if you go to the doctors, there's a regular GP down the road. You go, I've got a pain in my back or my leg. I can't find nothing. But it's like, I've got a pain. And it's like, well, he said he's hurt. Medically, he can't clear him.
Well, Nathaniel Klein does have a back injury, and it is keeping him out of the team. So I think they can diagnose back injuries.
But no one's going to buy Klein.
Okay, that's not the point.
I'm saying is that they're
Mine is terrible.
Just in terms of your GP analogy, they can
No.
identify back injuries.
Barcelona could do it in Nathaniel Klein.
Well, they have what's his name? The guy they got from
Semedo.
Portugal.
Semedo.
Is it Nelson?
Yeah.
That's him. We'll talk about Barca in a second.
But this transfer window, sorry Neil, this transfer window is absolutely crazy. Like, even with the money, like, there's Conte texting his best striker to say, I've no interest in you. And whether that's saying inside the club, Costa just announces, it's like, yeah, I got a text. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Barkley-
Chelsea have categorically denied
Like,
it. And they
Koeman-
come out in a press conference and said, oh yeah, that's been dealt with. No more questions. There was no text.
Mm.
And then Costa's like, there is a text. I have it here.
Koeman
It's
said the
just-
same about Barkley, said he's out looking for
Yeah.
new sort of things. Like Steven Gerrard coming out and said, oh yeah, Klopp met with Van Dijk in Blackpool like 3 months ago. He's coming to Liverpool. And it's like, well, no, hang on. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Even though everyone does it. Apparently everyone knew at Messi's wedding that Neymar was leaving, except the Barcelona board.
Yeah, of
apparently.
course, yeah.
Like there's all the sort
Well,
of...
they-
it's
you know,
most- it's
they're
mental.
always
I've
going
never
to
seen anything
talk.
like it.
Anyway, just finish up on the Phil thing. Who last week said that he wouldn't go here?
I said,
You said he wouldn't?
I thought he'd go.
Okay,
I think
it's
like,
looking
the only
incredibly
the only
likely
player I've never
anyway.
seen not go to Real Madrid or Barcelona was De Gea, and that was
Yeah.
because of a defunct fax machine.
And Louis stayed 1 extra year.
But that was to Arsenal. It was different.
I guess Barca didn't bid. Speaking of bids
Arsenal
that did
then he
happen
went to
though,
Barca.
yeah.
Man City did bid 44 million for Sanchez yesterday, which is quite incredible.
Well, Arsenal won't sell him there.
Well, they already said no.
I think if they'll sell him anywhere with PSG. Apparently Man City want Evans off
You know,
West Brom.
PSG
That'd be a
can't.
great signing for them.
PSG can't sign players right now.
FFP or
Yeah, they had to get rid of 4 players after buying.
Draxler's up as well.
Exactly, they had to get
Matuidi.
rid of 4 players after buying Neymar. So they got rid of
Jesse.
Matuidi to
Juventus.
Juve.
Jesse to Stoke.
That's a loan. I don't know if that counts.
Well, he could be off the wage bill or whatever. I don't know. The Stoke might be.
They'd probably split it, wouldn't
But,
they?
well,
max?
like it's a profit they're making.
But if it's FFP, I would have a feeling it's actual squad members. Anyway, they've come out and they said that they can't sign anyone until they get rid of
I'd
4
say
players.
Lucas Moura and Draxler could go.
Well, Lucas Moura was heavily linked with Liverpool yesterday.
He's very good.
You like him more than most people do.
I think he's very good.
I think he's very inconsistent. But Liverpool need another winger. Sure.
Yeah,
Why not?
That's what we need.
Um,
Looking at that match on Saturday, what we need is another pacey winger.
Anything else transfer-wise that's come up?
Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans,
it's
Man
weird
City?
one. It's a weird link.
I think I love him. at
Gareth
Liverpool.
Barry has gone to West Brom.
That's a good signing.
No,
He's
it's
his replacement
not.
for Fletcher.
No, it's not.
Of course he is.
Gareth Barry hasn't been a good player since 2010.
He'll do
He's
fine.
slow.
For,
He's a yellow card right
He'll
now. He was
do
dreadful
fine.
at Everton last
He'll
year.
do
He
fine
was
for West
so
Brom.
slow at Everton last year. He was at fault for everything that went
he's
wrong.
playing midfield of a 2 and 3 in West Brom in front of the back 4. That is fine.
Is he 7 foot? Like, will he fit in that
He's
West Brom
fine.
team at all?
He's fine.
I don't think so. But
Of course he's fine.
it'll be
Free transfer.
It'll make no difference. West Brom and Everton aren't moving up or down. They're
Exactly.
fine.
He's
So,
fine.
At the minute,
Yeah. No issues with it. He's just there.
What a muck.
So Sigurdsson's gone to Everton as well.
Sigurdsson, big one.
Okay.
There's another one as well. Gabriel is going to Valencia.
Gabriel is going to Valencia for
10 million.
16 million. 10?
10 million, yeah.
I heard a
See,
great stat
Euro,
about Sigurdsson.
Sterling.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's-
He's the first, third, fourth, and 10th most expensive Icelandic player of all time.
Yeah.
Well, another amazing stat that came out this week, going back to what Dan said about Jesse moving from PSG to Stoke for a year, is they have more Champions League winners than any other Premier League team does.
Yeah.
Who knew? And we all said Stoke were doing terrible in the transfer window, huh?
They're not doing great.
Well, the majority of these players did not play in the competition. So Shaqiri, Sturridge. Oh, wait, no, Sturridge. I was thinking. I was thinking of people who have Champions League medals.
Neil's ahead of the
Shouldn't-
game here. Daniel Sturridge playing up
What do
front
I
for
know?
Stoke, 3 matches in a 38
He
game
is a
season.
Stoke, possible Stoke
The,
player.
Oh, absolute
The
Stoke player.
Matuidi thing will
That's
put
signing
a,
of the season.
that will put an end to the rumours for Chan anyway. Moving,
Yeah.
I would say his contract will expire and he'll
I
go
hate
for
this
free.
sort of thing.
So is he actually gonna? Where's he gonna go? Like, is he?
Chan?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to come in from if Juve aren't, and he has 1 year left in his deal. and He's not resigning.
No,
so
but next is he? Why is he not resigning?
he wants to go.
He's not going to do much better in Liverpool.
He wants to play more.
No.
Oh, he will, but
He's not going to do much better in Liverpool. Really?
he will definitely.
He will.
He
People
could
buy
get into a
him.
team in
He's
the
a
German
young,
league that's
solid German
guaranteed
centre-back
to
with
get
pace and
in
everything.
Champions League, and that would be good enough for him.
But he won't. He won't be playing any of these big teams. He's going to get more game time at Liverpool than he would at Juventus or a Bayern Munich or a.
Dortmund. Yeah, I could see him there.
I can see him go to a bigger
Dortmund.
team. He's starting for Germany. Like he's.
He does start for Germany no matter what it seems. Speaking of the German league, it came out today, and I'd be very excited about this, although I haven't checked his form in the last 2 years. But Haudes has been linked as the alternative to Van Dijk supposedly after
Or you love him, you do.
I did like him. Supposedly after the
Him and Dante. Sorry for Liverpool.
Well, how it is actually good. How it is actually good centre half. So
it started on that day. The armband was taken away from him and given to the keeper in Schalke, and supposedly that's caused tremendous unrest. He's 29 and incredibly slow.
why don't you go for your man Goretzka as a replacement for Coutinho? He plays for Schalke as well.
Were we linked with him?
He's very good.
I don't think Liverpool are signing another player.
You can't not sell
Well, if
Coutinho,
Phil
not
goes,
buy
they
at least
would.
one centre half.
And Draxler.
The left back situation, I still think there's one there.
Look, I think Liverpool's entire season was summed up in that Watford game. There was
It
no,
was-
there was no Coutinho. We'll win a couple of matches by a lot of goals. We'll lose a couple of matches by and we might get a Champions League run if we get out of the group stages happy days. I think Klopp, during his press conference after the match, was like, I don't care about Coutinho. The board have made their decision, basically saying, wasn't my decision.
Yeah.
I think
Of course.
Klopp feels betrayed. I think Coutinho's gone. I think Liverpool are like,
What
Yeah,
was
get
his
rid of
exact words now?
oh, something like,
I didn't listen to it.
it sounds weird. Like the board. It sounds like the board made
Well,
their
no,
decision.
he
on Coutinho.
said I can't say any more. He
Yeah.
goes, I deal with the players. I
That
can't
doesn't
keep.
sound good.
He goes, I can't. He goes, I can't keep unhappy players.
Because
basically
wasn't
saying
he
that.
was always saying I'm adamant he's not being sold, he's not being sold. But if he's saying the board have made their decision, that would mean he is
Yeah,
sold.
yeah,
I could see it nearly being the last day of the window.
Yeah.
You'll probably have one tied up. I'd say you'll have a guy tied up to replace him,
Maybe.
someone to replace him, and you'll go on pretty much last day. You'll go, well, Coutinho's still here. Extra 20 million quid.
What's amazing
Dembele,
is
they're in
Liverpool
talks with Dembele, Barcelona as well.
Liverpool-
oh, that's definitely happening.
Liverpool can't sell Coutinho now.
If they
well,
can get a replacement.
No, it's
What if
not
he goes
about
on strike?
It'd be unrest
What if
because
he goes on strike?
Forget
He's saying
that
there's
he's
a
on
chance.
strike. The minute so far in this transfer window, we've got Salah. We basically announced Van Dijk without putting a bid in. Then had to then had to release a statement saying actually no, we won't, and we didn't.
Are you
we're
allowed to
gonna
go
lose
for
out
Van
here.
Dijk now?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but
Through legal channels, are you still allowed?
Through the
And
proper
then-
etiquette, yes.
Yeah.
And then a bid comes in for our no, I don't think he's our best player, but a very good player
bullshit.
from Barcelona.
Who's your best player?
Mane's our best player. Anyway, Coutinho comes in. Liverpool announced another statement. Yeah, we're not selling him. And then 20 minutes later, Coutinho goes, "Well, actually,
Yeah.
I'd like to go."
But I think
and
I
then
said
another
this-
email comes in. It'd
I
be
s-
the biggest laughable thing to happen for a football team
could-
ever.
could you
I,
keep
I,
fans
I
would not
still,
fans
I
would
still think
riot.
it's last week. I think I might have said this on the show that the reason why the clubs like Liverpool are on, oh, he's not for sale, he's not for sale. And then if Coutinho goes, well, I'm on strike, and they'll be like, well, guys, we didn't want to sell him, but he pushed
Yeah.
our hand.
Yeah, like,
I,
what
they're
do
all-
you- what do
the
you
player
do
and the board
if
are in
he-
complete cahoots. The manager is unfortunately the pawn. Klopp is
If
the
he
pawn.
says he's on strike, what do you do?
The board are the people who will make the decision, and they'll go, right, we can get 120 odd million or whatever it is,
Which is
for
incredible.
Coutinho.
Yeah.
It's
Just think of it this
and
way. If
they'll
it
go,
wasn't for
and
the
as long as
Neymar
they,
deal,
as long as Liverpool stay face in this to the fans, like,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't want to sell him, make Coutinho to be the prick who's betraying us, and go, oh, we did everything we could. We said we weren't selling him. He says he's not going to. How can a statement come
I don't-
out
I
and
don't
then
think
half
it's
an hour
as,
later, it's all
I
in
don't think it's
cahoots.
as, I don't think it is really, Dan. I think that if the player says that he's going to go on strike, the fans are going to react that way anyway. That they didn't need to orchestrate this. Do you know what I mean?
but I think that they'll. But the Liverpool are doing now. The board and everyone will say face like we tried to say to keep him,
and I'm sure
we
they
didn't-
will. But this is all true. I don't think.
No, but it wouldn't surprise me now if these guys are actually going like, look, if you want to hand in your transfer request, it'll
No,
push us.
no.
Because you're going to go anyway.
I
It
don't.
does happen.
I don't think the
I think it
board
does.
are encouraging Phil to leave.
They're not encouraging him to leave, but I think
Well,
they know
that's
if
kinda
he's
what
like,
you're
I
implying.
want to leave, I don't want to play here.
I-
There is a different side of that coin now.
I
Well,
do not think
absolutely.
the owners who seem dodgy enough at Liverpool anyway can have the summer that
Really,
the
I
owner.
don't think they're bad owners.
No, but as to try win stuff, they brought in a world class manager in Klopp. He has his issues, obviously, but he's a world class manager. Liverpool will not get another world class manager like him. He has
Nah.
signed 11 players, 2 of which include Alex Maniger and Stephen Cocker, who played like 4 matches,
Up front.
and he's sold
Cocker.
23.
The greatest.
He's sold 23 players. Like, not saying any of them are good, but he's not bringing
Yeah.
enough in. That could be him. And then this summer, we've had like 4 targets, it looks like. Looks like it was Salah, Chamberlain,
Dijk.
Keita, and Van Dijk. We fucked up Van Dijk. Red Bull don't want to sell Keita, apparently.
And Chamberlain probably would go to Chelsea rather than News. Looks like
Probably
or
if he had the choice, or stay.
I don't
Like,
think the Chamberlain thing was ever a goer.
I think it's a go.
I
I think that was the surprise Wijnaldum sort of thing that last year was.
But if it wasn't for the Neymar deal, this 120 million would seem incredible.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have
It's
happened.
an
till
almost
next year.
world record bid.
Well,
Anyway,
it's
look,
still- it's still
enough
a-
Liverpool. Let's talk
you know.
about Barcelona. first, before we talk about their potential demise, everybody's already writing them off as the glory years are finished. Just walk us through the two legs. So first off, we had the penalty. Was it a penalty for Suarez?
The first goal was an own goal by PK.
And there was a kit clash that I didn't care for.
Yeah, what was that about? I think Madrid must have been like, this is our new away kit, we're wearing it. It's like, okay.
It's that sort of thing.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't great.
It was
light blue against blue and red.
Friend of the show, Adam Joyce, couldn't watch it because he's colourblind.
That's Jesus. That is a bit inconsiderate of them, I suppose.
Exactly.
But
not caring about whatever.
Look, was the Suarez dive more of a dive than the Ronaldo dive?
Absolutely.
Of course it was.
Well,
right?
I didn't think
of course it was.
the Suarez one, like he threw himself, whatever, like
there's
that.
a bite coming.
But
there's an absolute bite coming.
Especially if you watch this, like, he's out for a month.
Yeah,
we're jumping ahead of ourselves.
The whole thing is though with the Ronaldo thing. I didn't think it was a penalty, but I didn't think it was a red card. I thought if there was any contact, it was probably outside the box. If there was any, it was a.
So you think it was a dive, but it shouldn't have been a yellow
for Ronaldo?
Yeah.
No, I just said it wasn't.
No,
dive
I think it was
or
a
not a penalty.
it was a coming together. It wasn't. Anything.
It wasn't a penalty or a red card. I said it wasn't nothing. It was nothing.
Okay, so it wasn't a dive. It was just a coming together. It shouldn't mean anything.
Like he was running at full speed. Like there was literally the smallest bit of contact, but he didn't throw himself to the ground. But like it's gas though because like people must be making the point before. Like he takes off his shirt, gets the yellow card, or whatever. Like how that has to happen that like it was not going to bite someone in the arse.
Yeah.
Like I think Zidane will tell him not to do it again.
There was a lot of silly red cards this weekend.
So Madrid won 3-1, and then
it's the worst Barcelona team.
Hold on, we'll get to Barcelona as a whole.
Paulinho signed, by the way.
I know. We're going to
40
get.
million.
Look, we're going to get to Barcelona.
This is.
Don't talk about the keepy uppies. They were fine. That was an edited video. Fake news, Dan. So going into the. By the way, so Ronaldo has scored more goals in the new camp head-to-head than Messi has in El Clasico.
There you go.
That is incredible.
It's a great stat.
And then the second leg, Madrid won 2-0. For some reason, Barca played a 3-4-3 formation, which they haven't done in over a year and a half.
No, it's not true at all.
And
not true at all. They played it 6 months ago.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
as a consistent. No,
they played it about 10 games in a row.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
they did.
It was very stupid, and they didn't look like they had a chance to do anything until they went back to normal.
They're not. They're so far off the pace, like, but they've it's ironic why I said that. They've no pace in the team. They've nothing. They've
one centre back who can run, who's not great.
Not Serrano or Umtiti.
No, Umtiti. All of their other centre backs literally can't run. Suarez looks like he's lost pace.
Yeah, he's on a decline.
He's definitely.
Messi just seems like literally had to try and do everything.
Did you hear Messi's statement to Neymar that Neymar said?
What's this?
Like, apparently to convince Neymar to stay, Messi came out and was like, "You want the Ballon d'Or? I will make you the Ballon d'Or."
Yes, I did hear that.
Well, Messi was like, they signed Neymar, they're like, "Yeah, you happy this guy coming in?" It's like, yeah, sure, because like he was playing up front with Pedro and fucking Munir or something, or was that Cuenca or all these? Your man Christian Teo was another one.
Yeah,
all these guys coming through, like. It's like, yeah, he's actually good. I can play with him, but like,
sure, he's happy. Delafeu's back.
So
did you see him in the first leg? He was actually like, I actually felt really sorry for him, to be honest.
He looked like a kid that won a prize and a packet of crisps.
Yeah,
he was so out of his depth there.
So besides Paulinho, no one else seems to be coming in. Dembele might be coming in. He's been suspended by Dortmund and then asked to not come back. Blah blah blah. But is he really going to make a difference? Like,
he'll make it. First of all, they need numbers. Like, if you look at the bench, right? Madrid didn't have Isco or Ronaldo in their 18, and their bench was still pretty much 90% stronger than Barca's bench, and Barca pretty much had their full strength team out, and bar Iniesta was injured. But it was just they really like they really need like difference. Like, I think I said to you there, John, that the way they were concentrating on the front three, like they never really got the replacement for Xavi. They let Iniesta get old. Busquets now is 29, 30, so it's like
31.
That I don't think he's 31.
You sure? Okay.
I mean, he's in around that anyway, but he's definitely not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like they haven't really like they needed like what they actually should do is selling instead of I'd go for Verratti ahead of Coutinho.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like they need someone in midfield who actually can
control
the game. They need a fast.
But they're in a different situation now. PSG are in a different situation. See, the thing about it is, Barca have always been great at replacing the third man. You know, when Sanchez went, when Villa went, when Pedro went, they've always been great at replacing the third man. Even Ronaldinho going and Messi moving in and stuff like that to that spot. But even if they get Dembele or Phil that's still not properly replacing the third man in the attack, as far as I'm concerned. Especially
they've-
with Suarez.
But they've
not
bigger
being great.
issues. Like, I don't know what this Nelson Semedo fella's like at the back.
He's
I
supposed to
don't
be the right back they've needed since Alves. I guess.
I don't know what he's like. But
He's supposed to be
actually. I think bar right back. The other defenders actually they're not too bad at the back. They can get away. They can get away with it.
PK is completely out of his mind the last
This,
6 months.
he's getting very old.
Yeah, but
He's
I
very
think
slow.
PK's done. Mascherano.
I don't even think Ronaldo has the pace he used to have, but PK definitely
Oh
doesn't.
my god.
PK was never fast though.
I like this Paulinho signing. It reminds me of when Real Madrid signed Thomas Graverson, like the absolute like Kirby enthusiasm music turned out by the absolute because it's just
If you had
we've
video
signed the
editing
big
skills,
boy.
I swear,
What?
you could have just made that for Paulinho and his Gibbioppies.
Absolutely, it's just insane. It's like, what? Hang on, how much? Like, I don't even care about the money. He's not good enough to play for Barcelona. But
It was 40 million.
Yeah, that's 2 Matuidis. Now, that's incredible, by the way. Can I give you a Madrid
Speaking
stat?
of Emery Chan would do a fucking job in that midfield. Like they've no one.
Yeah.
They've no one. Like, but it's. I think it's very sad that the board have actually let it get like this.
Is it a case, obviously they could have done more of the years to replenish, but is it a case now that it's very hard to bring people in because of the unproven manager? And they see Neymar going and they're thinking
Valverde
themselves,
is very respected coach in Spain, and he's
well, how
won it
come-
all. Like,
yeah, I suppose.
like
well,
he's literally just been there. Obviously, the comparison
there's
would be
very
David
few
Moyes,
people,
but he's actually won trophies
there's very few
everywhere
people
club's gone to.
linked to Barcelona. Do you know
But
what I
that's
mean?
it, because they've
Why are
the
they not
plan
going out
was
and
the
getting
plan
people?
was Messi, Suarez, Neymar up front, and they go they'll win us the matches, and yeah, it was true. They would. They just go, and once they clicked, it was fine. And if Iniesta had his on day, you know, he'd have one good game every 3 or 4.
But
It's his legs are
since
gone.
signing Rakitic, right, they have not had one person who can come into that midfield three. If Iniesta, Rakitic,
well,
or
I'd like to
Busquets
know
are-
why did they sell Thiago?
There
why
you
did,
go.
Why did they let him go? I can understand letting Fabregas go. You know, they couldn't guarantee him the time. Whatever, they could cash in on him. Why the hell did they sell Thiago when he was young? He was up and coming. He was a Catalan. He was the exact same sort of player as an Iniesta or a Xavi. He's regular in Bayern Munich's midfield. He's a really, really good player, and he was doing it for Barcelona under Pep's first season. And
Sure.
they're like, we'll sell him. We'll sell Cesc. We'll sell Alexis. I know they had to fund the Neymar and Suarez things, but it was like.
Yeah.
They've gone completely so far out that the board now really have to look at themselves, and they haven't had a good president since Joan Laporta left in
Mary McAleese, I think.
2011 or 2010, excuse me. He
Mary
left,
Robinson.
and your man came in. Sandro Rossell came in. He was a disaster.
Absolutely.
Bartomeu came in, so that's it.
Can I give you a Madrid stat?
Go
Shoot.
for it.
How many trophies has Zidane won?
Oh yeah, he's won more than. What's that one I heard? Was it 7? Is it?
Okay,
8?
7.
What was the thing? He's at 7.
It's the same amount of games he's lost.
That's
as
it.
manager.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
impressive, isn't it?
19
Yeah.
months.
It's not
Mm.
fair.
It's fucking. It's
But
the
he's
best.
got that team just completely in tune.
They love him.
Like that's it. There's the respect. Like it's the exact pretty much similar team to when Rafa had. The team got spanked 4-0 by Barcelona
It's quite similar,
at Bernabeu. But
Say
like,
that Rafa built
Rafa
but
built
he's got,
groundwork.
but he's
for
got
that.
that.
He did, didn't he?
He's got the respect
like
though. that-
Kovacic now seems like an inspired signing, and at the time it's like, who can Rafa get for like 8 million from
well, it's,
Inter?
it's like Isco and like Asensio now as well. He's coming through. But these guys like Lucas Vazquez, Madrid's academy is better than Barcelona's right in the last 5 years. It's been much better because what they're doing is they've got rid of a guy called Theo Hernandez, brought him back. Lorente went to Alaves, brought him back. Lucas Vazquez went out to Espanyol, brought him back.
Yeah.
They're letting them go, and then they've got
And
the
look who
buyout.
Barca
They've
brought
got
back.
the buyout back. But that's it. Barca they've no one to buy back. So the whole structure of Barcelona is completely wrong, and I think Atletico Madrid might tip them for second place this season. And I don't think that's an
I don't
outrageous
think
shout.
that's no. I don't think that's outrageous
It's the
whatsoever.
worst Barca team I've seen since 2008, 7. Maybe
Yeah.
even longer. 2003, I'd say.
Champions
2003.
League in 2008.
No.
No, that was United.
They got semi-final, but they were beaten 4-1 in Rijkaard's last game by Madrid. So they were a mess.
All right, so the Premier League kicked off with Arsenal hosting Leicester. Me and Dan watched it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
John
was at
John
home.
had a tantrum.
John had a tantrum.
Yeah,
By the way,
wasn't invited.
I want to get
Some
you,
ruse.
you were invited.
Some
You were
negotiations to
implied.
get.
So can I talk to you
someone
about
else to
something?
replace.
Can I talk to you about something?
Yeah.
If I had fucking come out to Dunleary, right, and not been at Wetherspoons and had to go to that other fucking place.
Where did you
nobody
go in the
was,
end?
and there was no atmosphere. I would have
a
been
great
very
pub.
cross. It looked like empty. It looked
It's a
fucking
big cinema. What do you want for a nice empty thing with a cinema screen? That's exactly what you want for a pub for a game. Full of football
Like
fans.
the Blue- like the Blue Haven.
listeners. Yeah,
So-
Blue Haven is a dream.
So Arsenal Liverpool.
only at the stage.
Yeah, of course.
Arsenal Liverpool was the first game that we
Arsenal
watched.
Leicester.
No, it wasn't.
Arsenal Leicester was the first game we watched.
This
in
is last
Ultra-
season's
Last season. Last season.
and it was well, this game was equally as good, if not better. It was the first game we watched in Ultra HD.
It's a cracking game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Fa- fa-
talk about the Ultra HD first.
I finally adjusted about 25 minutes into it.
25 minutes.
Found it really difficult. Very
When the-
bright.
when the
Very just
When the ball
luminous.
travels in the air and you're trying to follow the ball in the air, it legitimately hurts your eyes. Me and Dan were
Wow.
complaining. Like, we were thinking about switching it back to HD. We were like, nah.
we got to plow through this Sky Q. You know.
So, let's go through it. The first goal was Lacazette. That was 9 minutes in or something, wasn't
5
it?
minutes.
5 minutes in.
Yeah, it was a good header.
And then
He looked very
immediately-
good. Look at that. I must
He
say.
did look good.
Yeah.
And then Okazaki scored next.
No, it was Vardy.
Did Vardy score next?
Or was it Akazaki? Oh, it was Akazaki, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then
To shocking defending all day by
It
Arsenal.
was Jamie Vardy.
Vardy,
It's 2-1.
and then
Great ball by Albrighton.
then Welbeck, then Vardy, then Ramsey, and then Giroud. Ramsey and Giroud were substitutes, and pretty much the first and second thing they did was score.
Last two games they've had, FA Cup final, Ramsey and Giroud have changed the game in the last 20 minutes.
Is it obviously
Coming off the bench.
we've the Hoffenheim game as a reference for Liverpool, but is it a bit drastic to say that Liverpool are in such a doldrum because they drew 3-3 compared to Arsenal, who just happened to win but also concede 3
I
goals?
think, though, the one saving grace that Arsenal would have, I thought that
because they didn't
played
actually play with defenders.
The back three was completely makeshift. Monreal as your main centre half, who could be probably one of their first choice left wing backs. So I don't know. I think that's one thing, and also they probably going forward they look pretty good, but defensively they were like the first half. The standard of the Liverpool Watford first half game, I couldn't believe how bad it was.
Yeah.
I honestly, the standard was shocking. From like both teams couldn't pass the ball 10 yards. It was really, at least these two teams were having a go and they were trying to play. I thought
I would say that both.
like the 6 goals in that Watford game, it was one of the worst games you ever see. You could have 6 goals in it. You know what I mean?
Going back to both Arsenal and the Liverpool match, I don't want to stay too long in the Liverpool match because, well, it's the same as last season. Like it's like putting on an old jumper. But both managers who lost late goals in Shakespeare and Klopp both made silly substitutions.
Very much so.
Shakespeare brought on Iheanacho for like another attacker for no reason when he could have brought in a defender, and Klopp.
He took it on for
Okazaki.
no, the guy he hadn't started in ages, James.
Oh, Matty James.
Yeah, he put on exactly, and Klopp.
Klopp brought on Joe Gomez.
Yeah.
Changing the defense. Maybe
He took off
somehow
Yeah.
Trent
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold.
Maybe he was shattered, was he?
Maybe, but you never change.
It
your
was three,
defenders when
3
you
or 4
hold
minutes to
lead.
hang on. Like
Yeah.
Silly.
Um,
And then it was an offside goal anyway. But yeah, Liverpool were muck.
I was the only one to call that live, by the
more
way.
should be you were fair play. More should be said about that. It was an offside goal.
Still no excuse, though.
Salah scoring on his debut, so Salah is literally can't stop scoring.
Can't stop fucking missing.
2
2 matches in a row.
It did take them
Put the
fair play.
ball in the net, you shit.
If there's any saving grace, that all 3 of Liverpool's forwards, who will be their forwards throughout the season, scored, but a last minute goal and general shit play. And Lovren and Moreno.
Moreno.
What's he doing back there?
He's back.
But you bought Robertson for 10 million. You've
Robertson's-
Milner, who
Robertson's not
did
ready. Dan.
Milner
He's not
did
ready.
a good job left back last season. Moreno
would've done
wasn't
it.
wanted at the club
would've
a
done a
month
better
ago.
job.
Klopp kicked him out of training
He wasn't-
on Monday for asking too many questions about defending a set piece and still played him on Tuesday.
But what's he doing? But what's he?
Sorry.
but-
Can you elaborate on this? He
It's a
kicked
st-
him out of training.
Yeah, because for like he was messing around. Klopp was showing them how to defend a set piece. I mean, it's like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Klopp was like, just get out.
That's incredible.
But if he wasn't wanted a month ago, what's he doing starting the first 2 games of the season?
He was incredible
At
against
left.
Bayern Munich in a friendly. It's
So fucking what?
It's as stupid and simple as
I
that.
don't think it's as simple as that. It can't be.
I think
Obviously-
I think
Dan,
Lovren's
okay,
been.
obviously impressed in training, but he was stunning against Bayern, and it was after Bayern that Klopp came out and said he is no longer for sale.
I think Lovren has been worse than Moreno, but
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
It's just weird what's going on there. You have to buy a defender.
We can all
You have to
all
buy
just
someone
agree that Mohamed Sakho would fit in anywhere in that defence and make it better.
Who's Mohamed Sakho? Who's Mohamed Sakho?
Mamadou.
Yeah, that's what I said. Mohamed Salah, Mamadou Sakho.
That sounds like a
Well,
great.
as I
player.
said, he's
One in
one
the
of your
same.
best of a bad bunch of defenders.
Well, he's easily
Matthew's
top
a
20 in the
top
world, I'd say. Okay, so Chelsea and Burnley, we had the Cahill red card in the first half.
Couldn't believe it. I was on the hunt for your cat
Yeah.
in the car, and obviously because I got into the car and then I got back in. No, I left your house to get into the car. Then I'll go, oh, what a goal by Stephen Ward. I'm like, oh my god, it's 2-0.
Yeah.
And then everyone's booing, and it's like, yep. So that's it. Half time. Chelsea 0 down to 10 men, and Burnley 3. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
So
Some
first
goal.
off,
But Burnley could have scored more.
Yeah, but before we get to the Burnley goals, was the Cahill red card justified?
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
but
It was a silly challenge.
He could have broken his leg if he had contacted him more. You don't need to hurt someone to get merit a red card.
No, I agree with that.
It's a red
I didn't see red.
You don't usually see
It
him
was
that
definitely
early in
red.
the game, but
Definitely red. But he didn't complain first of all about it.
he was studs up. He knew what he did.
It was a red card.
So then there was Vokes skulls from Vokes, scores from Vokes, and then Ward, showing why he used to play as a number 10 and a centre forward.
For Bose.
And then Vokes again. Morata, after coming on,
He did well actually when he came on.
scored by kind of falling into a really good cross.
Then he missed the sitter.
Missed the sitter, and then David Luiz playing as a centre forward got a goal towards the end as well.
So I got a little bit of grief from people, a few texts and stuff, like saying, people, what are you doing? Have Conte for a sack. But all three of us did. And like obviously that I wouldn't say that's his fault, that performance. I think the whole club is just completely upside down, whatever's going on.
It doesn't matter if it's his fault or not. There's issues there.
There's serious issues, and he
he'll
still
be the guy to
but
go.
Conte, he still hasn't shaved. He's still wearing his tracksuit, but he doesn't look. He looks exhausted as well.
Looking like Neil.
He doesn't look. He doesn't look well. Like, do you know what I mean?
Thanks, John.
All his new hair plugs will fall out.
Does he have plugs?
Oh yeah, he was bald as anything when he was like 96, 97. If you look back,
You're kidding me.
yeah.
Oh, this is
But
amazing.
Fabregas actually.
I'll get a picture now,
As
actually.
well. He could have been sent off twice.
Yeah. Oh wait, Fabregas got sent off too. Should have mentioned that.
The Vokes first goal is always funny. I love those goals that just like trickle in with the keeper, just like, no, fine, no.
What's what's the story with suspensions for Cahill and
I'm
Cahill's
guessing
3
it's
'cause it's
3-game
trade.
ban, isn't it?
Fabregas just gets one.
Fabregas was a double yellow.
Well, there's a picture of Conte there now. So, like, if that's not a hair transplant,
Excellent for podcasting.
Yeah. Dan, send that to me now so we can use it as our thumbnail. Thank you
I
very
thought
much.
we were
Don't know
using. I
that.
thought we were using.
No, I didn't.
or like
the
that one
United
there,
boys with the
even.
granny.
Like, look at that. Like, that's really bad.
Tomato.
We can save it for another day.
Yeah.
It's a lovely jersey though, the Italian jersey there.
His hair plants will be evergreen.
So-
Crystal Palace and Huddersfield.
How shocked this was.
Was it?
Frank de
What?
Boer looking like he'd just been through the wars after his post-match conference. Huddersfield were great. They might stay up. I thought they would, but you guys were all against it.
Well, me and Dan have them going down, that's for sure.
Do you not have them gone down as well?
I don't think so. Maybe I do.
Well, John, you can't remember your top
Sure.
6, to be fair.
I don't. I did them all well.
I think though,
But
like they actually looked okay when they started hoofing up to Hugo, but like really like it's.
I took Hugo out of my... no, we'll get to fancy in a minute. Everton against Stoke, and what a return it was. Rooney getting the only goal.
that was a great moment.
It was
Terrible
a-
match.
it was a
Terrible
great
effort,
moment.
but great moment for him.
Disgusting match. Not really much else to say. Obviously,
Everton should have scored more.
Everton have so many new players. It's kind of like, how long will it take for, Ronald to get his shit together with them? But they didn't look as exciting as I thought they would.
I give them time. I thought actually Rooney played all right. I thought he had a few nice touches and just controlling the ball,
See,
holding it
there's-
up and spraying it out.
There's
I
going to be
think
less pressure on him.
There's less pressure and
And
there's
he'll-
going to be a lot more room in midfield for him.
Yeah.
Do you see Koeman's ultimate? What he says he likes most about Rooney. He
The fact that his hair plugs don't work, unlike Conte.
He knows when to fall down. Apparently, all his years at Man United, he knows when to get the tactical fouls and when to fall over.
Professional.
He learned
a
militia.
professional dive.
He learned militia.
Militia.
Yeah,
Oh, militia.
in pro. You can teach your guy militia.
Sorry.
Learns how to get
sorry.
free kicks.
Very good.
Yeah.
Is that what that does?
Yep.
Kieran, my bass player, showed me a video yesterday of the Renford rejects being told specifically how to win free kicks.
They would have well
See,
ahead
this
of this game.
this culture of diving.
Started from Renford.
It's well,
Bruno de Gradi.
Spain is a different universe, but at least in England we've Renford rejects to blame for it. Southampton and Swansea.
Nothing happened.
Okay. Go on, John. You did want to, did you?
I have nothing.
Yes, we could have.
Oh, sorry, I do have something.
Nah.
Southampton have gone 7 matches, which is without scoring a goal.
At home, right?
Yeah, at home.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's amazing.
Well, I can't believe they sacked Claude Puel. They finished 8th in the league, and they hired a guy Pellegrino
Got to a cup final.
who would be exactly. And this guy Pellegrino, I know he's with you guys. But he's
San Pellegrino.
I'd say he's a bit of a more of a defensive coach as well. Like Claude Puel, like I heard Matt Letizia going, "Oh, it's I think it's a really good move in order for Southampton to
He
kick
would have
on."
said that if fucking Coach Bradley had
It's
been
like,
brought in.
no, but like it was a good move that Claude Puel was sacked. Like, and I miss Coach Bradley
I miss Coach Bradley.
I don't.
wearing his baseball cap.
It's an amazing thing that this time last year we didn't even have Coach Bradley yet, and now he's already gone.
We had your man.
John's
Really?
pretending not to love Coach Bradley,
I don't love Coach Bradley.
but they got the PK kick. Go on.
What was your
Next game.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move on.
West Brom against Bournemouth. West Brom winning 1-0.
Oh, this is the
Set
most
piece, another set piece,
Set piece to
1-0.
a 6'18" striker.
Yeah.
Defender.
Defender. Who is he? Never heard of him.
Fugazi, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of those players
Hegazi.
no one's heard of, and then he scores. Like, that's the type of player Liverpool and Arsenal need.
Yeah, of course. Per
He's big.
capita, do United not have a taller team than West Brom?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I think one of the new listeners of the show actually said to me there the other
We
day
have
that
new listeners.
we do. Yeah, he said to me there that I think if you took out like I think it was Lingard or something or no, it was Mata and someone else. I think like Jose can pretty much nearly put out. I think it's like 19 or 20 players that are all over 6 foot. If you had like 2 starting 11s, like 19 of the 22.
Is Mkhitaryan over 6 foot?
I think it's like him and Mata. I
When
think and
it's-
everyone
okay.
else, Martial.
Ashley Young, Mkhitaryan, Rashford,
Oh,
Lingard.
Rashford's 6 foot. Rashford should be 6 foot.
Rashford, Lingard.
And if this line, so they got Zlatan, they got Fellaini then.
Fellaini 6 foot.
Carrick, Pogba,
Herrera. Is Herrera 6 foot?
5'10", I'd say. 5'9".
Yeah. Anyway,
They're
they serve the
very,
tallest team ever.
they're a big team.
We'll get to them in a minute. Brighton and Man City. You can talk about this in a bit more detail, Dan. But as somebody who doesn't watch the Championship or football in general, I was pretty stunned to see
I
how
watch cricket.
I was stunned to see how beautiful Brighton Stadium is.
Yeah, the Amex.
It's great.
Great
Did you
stadium.
like it?
Yeah, it was alright.
They got that a few years ago.
It was the best Championship football stadium I've seen in a long time. It looked like it
What about
belonged.
Leeds Stadium?
Well, no,
That's-
it's much
yeah.
newer than Down Road, so.
Leeds Stadium technically is a Championship stadium because you've been in the Championship longer than you. Well, you've been out of the
We've
Premier
been,
League.
yeah, we've
now
been
as well.
Championship longer than the Premier League. Yeah. Fucking mad. It's like Kane had his mask without.
That's exactly like that.
Well, yeah,
When it got to that-
City looked very good, even though
When
they
it got
scored
to
2
that
goals.
point that
I think
Kane
City struggled for
had
it.
his mask less
Less time.
less time than he didn't have his mask, I wanted to throw myself into the Liffey.
So weird,
I
isn't
was
it?
just like, yes. So
Devastating.
City had like 90% possession. That's a slight exaggeration, and it just took them ages to score. But they never looked in trouble. They never really had to kick into an extra gear. I thought De Bruyne looked off, but they still never
I
looked in
think
trouble.
they're. I thought they were like. You knew the goal was going to come. Like I thought set pieces, like Shane Duffy went close and Lewis Dunk went close to 2 centre halves.
Yeah.
Like they've,
Well,
I think
Gabriel,
Brighton will stay up.
well,
I do.
Jesus hit the bar.
I'm not sure
twice,
they
or
will. I
Jesus.
think they'll be like Chris Hughton's Norwich, and they'll just be too safe, and they'll lose all the important matches.
I don't know. Well,
There's worse teams.
like Chris Hughton,
Palace
like
are worse
he's
than
been
them.
up there now a few
Palace and
times.
West Ham are worse than them this weekend, but you have to pick up.
Well,
the
like
points.
they didn't have Anthony Knocknart as well, fully fit,
Mm.
and you know they've got 1 or 2 players actually to come back.
So goals from Aguero and
Own goal.
Own goal.
Yeah, it was
Duncan.
off Lewis Dunk.
Oh,
Yeah.
the puns that were going around about Duncan scoring an own goal.
slam dunk to funk. If
Exactly.
Man City were to sign Alexis Sanchez, would you all reconsider and say City are going to win the league?
No,
I'd be
I
more
said they'd win
impressed
the
if-
league.
Just in case.
I'd be more impressed if they signed Johnny Evans than I would be if they signed
Well,
Sanchez.
To be honest, what are they going to do with Sanchez if they did sign him? Like honestly, who the hell are they going to drop?
I think they'd sell Aguero.
Like
Well,
who,
see, it
who are they
depends.
going to
It
drop?
depends. It depends if he. How
Because he's obviously going to want first team football because he's not going to leave Arsenal to go.
Of course not.
You know,
And Sané and Sterling didn't even start on Saturday.
and they've
Yeah.
got De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva.
yeah, well, he's not going to take David Silva's place, but on the wing, on a
By the
wing.
way, he's a ball, Stephen Ireland. Like
Yes.
Balls
Did you
Stephen
did you
Ireland.
notice how reminiscent of Stephen Ireland David Silva
It was
was in the
freakish.
City
Yeah,
jersey?
It was-
wasn't,
Just looked like
I
Stephen
thought it was
Ireland.
Lee Carsley at first, and then
No, it's way more Stephen Ireland. It's
Stephen
way more
Ireland.
Stephen
I was
Ireland.
waiting
Stephen
for him to
Ireland.
score a goal, drop his pants to show his Superman jocks. That was the thing that happened, people.
But as I heard, he shaved his head, and then I had to point him out to you, Neil.
I know. It's just like
And you're
who's
like,
the
who's
Stephen
this?
Ireland? Why did
Thought it
he
was Zabaleta for a
He
minute.
shaved his head. You thought because he was doing the Conte 96?
Maybe.
You know, people do have to shave their head before they get a
No, but do you
transplant.
remember though?
A hair transplant.
It was Stephen Ireland. Stephen
Silva's dodgy liver.
Stephen Ireland. Getting liver transplant. Better shave your head first.
You have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
But Stephen Ireland was going bald, then got the hair plugs put in, and then he shaved his head like a month after.
No,
Wasn't that after
no.
his hair was pulled out? by
Yes,
Irish team members?
yes, it was. Dan, for some reason, bringing up something he never likes talking about, which is the tremendous bully culture that existed in Trapattoni's Ireland.
Steve
And
Staunton's.
Steve Staunton. Was it? It's not
Definitely
the
Steve
very, was not the
Staunton.
very start of the trap
No,
era?
No, Trapattoni got rid of that.
It was. This is the height of the mess of the Staunton era.
I'm the guy.
When Richie Dunn jumped on top of him and Robbie Keane and Stephen Hunt pulled his
second
hair
captain,
out.
whatever.
And I said San
Okay.
Marino are always good in March, so it was always going to be a tough game. Like,
It's very
seriously,
warm in
like,
San Marino in March. I assume.
Oh god! All right, Newcastle's debut back into the Premier League was a 2-0 defeat at home in St James's to Spurs. Spurs look pretty good.
I watched the first half of this. I
Yeah.
had to go out. I watched it and I was like, Newcastle look, like Rafa, like strong, like difficult to break down or whatever. And then all they were doing was hoofing it up to Dwight Gale. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
Newcastle are in a bit of trouble this season because he's not good enough to get he's good
Eric-
championship striker
yeah.
levels, but
Yeah, he's a good
Ericsson
championship
looked
player.
great. Ali looked great.
Kane
Ali's,
should have
Ali's
been sent
record of
off for
scoring
St.
from
Joe.
midfield is just
it's
unreal.
insane. He's the best goal scoring midfielder.
Yeah,
probably
absolutely.
in the league.
Okay, the
Well,
Kane
you have
thing
to
is
be.
important.
Kane should have been sent off.
He
Yeah.
said he
Who,
challenged.
and who did he challenge again? He's injured.
Lascelles?
No, Lascelles wasn't playing. I can't remember. But yeah, no, Shelvey then was just being his usual Shelvey.
Oh, Shelby.
Is he got like an issue or like a ADD
Yes.
or something? Or
They
is
had,
he something wrong with him? Cause
They
like,
had football's toilet, Alan Pardew, in the studio doing punditry on this game, and he was asked, does John Joe basically have anger management issues? And Pardew gave the...
he would have signed him, did he?
Exactly. And Pardew gave the typical response going, yes, you like that, don't a player, if they can keep it under control. John Joe can't. He's like, John Joe will get really mad at the slightest things in training and walk into the dressing room. We'd always have to talk him back out.
But what's this man doing as captain?
Yeah.
Well, Raf
Like-
obviously thinks
Like
that he can...
Lascelles.
He wasn't captain when he got sent off.
Lascelles is club captain.
Yeah.
But
And
I
he-
don't think he's good enough to play centre half for them in the Premier League. So Shelvey, who is good enough to play in the Premier League,
Rafa probably sees him as a pet project. I'll mould him
A
into...
lot of people
Stephen
see him as a
Gerrard.
pet project.
Sorry? Yeah, Stephen Gerrard. Yeah.
Uh,
Who?
A lot of people have seen him as a pet project. But another
Okay.
thing I heard is that Ali, as we all know, and even in this match, is a bit of a bollocks.
oh, he's a complete
and
prick.
what a lot of people think is that Poch went to Ali this Shelby's a bit of a head case. Give him a bit of a nudge and a kick here and there, and he will do what he did. And the match was over as soon as he did it.
These
I don't
conspiracy
think
theories,
Spurs
lads.
would have broken him down. To be honest, I thought they were completely playing. They didn't create
What do you
anything.
think? What do you think about Spurs Chelsea on this weekend? Do you think?
Spurs Chelsea. I think it's at Wembley, isn't it?
It's going to be
Um,
very interesting.
I think Chelsea can't play as bad as they did.
Let's
That's
look at
just the only thing they can't.
But they have no midfield, none.
Kante.
That's it.
No, the guy from Monaco.
No, he's not
He's
fit.
injured.
He's not fit.
Okay.
Fabregas suspended.
Fabregas suspended.
They might put
Loftus Cheek is gone. Chaloba is gone.
They might put Louise in there, but
They
They'll
will-
put
Louise
they will
Louise
put
in there.
Louise
I
in
think
there.
they could go four at the back.
No, they'll put Louise in there.
Four at the back and put Louise in there or something. I don't know.
But Cahill's also gone, so who's playing Zuma
Oh, shit, yeah.
and
Zuma's not there.
Zuma's gone to Stoke.
Zuma's
Zuma's gone to Stoke.
Yeah.
So who Rudiger and
Little Rudiger,
Little Rudiger.
Aspilicueta.
Victor Moses on the right, and
Who could play there?
I'm going to
No,
go through
Luis
their
would have
squad.
to-
I'm actually
Luis-
going
Luis-
through
their
their
squad
squad
is,
here.
Okay,
their
what-
squad is tiny. Dan
And-
was saying how they needed 7 players last year, and I
Yeah.
sort of laughed that off. But I didn't expect them to sell 4 of them.
Well, regardless though, if they still had Matic and if Costa was still there, would they have enough? No. Simple as they
It'd
wouldn't.
have to be
Before we
like
get to next week, we'll finish up with the game that has the United fans in a frenzy. I do want to clarify before we talk about the fact that United were good. It's fucking West Ham. So
Yeah, who'd pick them as the team to,
So-
you know?
no, hold on. I said they'd hit their stride eventually. So United at home, 2 goals from Lukaku,
I've no idea who they're going to play. This
Martial,
I know, it's
and
great.
Pogba.
I'm literally going through it now. Sorry to interrupt. This is actually, like, they've no one. Kennedy could play. Masonda
Kennedy.
could play. Boga could play.
Oh yeah, Boga started. That was a nice surprise for everyone.
Boga.
I think they'll put Luiz, Boga, and Kante in midfield.
Do they have 3 defenders though?
And then they'll go with
Aspilicueta.
Aspilicueta, Rudiger,
Rudiger, who said that he should be applauded for his
And-
performance.
Andres Christensen. Yeah, he came on. So
Okay.
there's your 3. And then, yeah, but you've no bet. Like, yeah, Spurs are winning it.
I'd say Spurs
Surely,
win.
like,
Okay, so Fastest player in the Premier League this weekend was Lukaku. He got up to 21 miles an hour, which is ridiculous.
Can I just say this is why, like, maybe the way I watch football is like wrong for me to be talking on a podcast, because I know Lukaku scored 2 goals, but every time he got the ball, he tripped over it. So I'm watching it going, Lukaku's shite.
I thought he
2
had a
goals.
fine game.
I thought he did okay. I thought, like, the whole thing was like, oh,
He's shite.
Pogba's back and all this. It's like, yeah, he played against a fucking midfield.
Pogba was
Like,
very
the young Irish lad
average.
came on.
Pogba was very average in the first half.
The young Irish lad came. I thought Man United were pretty poor until they scored, to be honest.
Yeah,
I thought they were.
They never looked in trouble. Not for a second. They never looked in trouble.
There was the
were
one chance
completely-
towards someone hit the ball.
Chicharito
directly.
had a chance.
West Ham should have had a penalty, by the way. And no, Sky Sports were. I thought the coverage of Sky Sports was actually disgraceful.
Compared to
Oh,
when?
Sorry.
No, but
did
it was like, oh, Man United are back. It was all Man United are back. They're going to win the league. It was like
Man United
they
are a
had one
product
fucking
they sell.
game. They hammered Bournemouth in the exact same game last year, 3-1.
Dan.
And they all
how
said,
this
"Oh,
works.
you know,
Do you think,
it was really bad."
do you
Neil.
think
If listen
Martial
to
will
it,
go
it was
to-
No,
really
what I'm saying is,
bad.
you know how it works, Dan. Like,
But-
they've 20 products that they want to sell, okay? And Man United are the product they want to sell the most because of the
They-
amount of Man United
But
fans.
the way
who
Martin
tune into
Tyler
it.
even was commentating, it was actually it was disgusting.
You
the
know
way they
the
were-
way he is.
Martin Tyler is a United fan.
Yeah,
But
like
he
Dan,
says
if you
he's
want
not.
to, if you want to watch an
He's a filthy
okay
liar.
United
Oh, yeah.
coverage, watch fucking BT or whatever. Okay, we'll
Well,
run through.
BT are doing much better in ratings.
Are you
they've-
sure?
Well, in the last year, I'd say they've taken a lot of skies.
Well, they definitely took them. I'm not too sure of the figures. Right, I'll just name the fixtures, lads, and you guys can tell me what you think. Saturday's kicking off with Swansea hosting United.
United.
It's just scum will win that.
Bournemouth hosting Watford.
Bournemouth.
Watford.
West Brom going to Burnley.
0-0.
Yeah, fair. That's the most nil result of all time.
Leicester hosting Brighton. Poor Brighton.
Game of the weekend.
I
Leicester, I'd say.
think Leicester will. Like if Leicester actually had a bit more balls in that Arsenal game, they would have gone and beaten them because Arsenal couldn't defend to actually save their lives. They were worse than you guys at the back.
Liverpool's first home game of the season.
Hugo will score.
Crystal Palace.
Hugo will score. It
but I
looks like
think you'll
Mane's
just have enough.
injured.
I think you'll win 2-1.
We've talked about Liverpool a little too much, but anything you want to say about the Hoffenheim game?
Trent Alexander-Arnold looks good. Trent Alexander-Arnold Peters will probably be better.
That Carl Walker Peters thing
Sorry,
is the
sorry.
greatest thing.
I'm so sorry.
I
we didn't
couldn't. I
talk
didn't
about
know who
I
this,
didn't do
this guy was, and then it's
So
like
they were presenting the man of the match. I missed the Spurs game because I
Kyle
was at
Walker
rehearsal.
Peters.
I came home and I turned it on, and the man of the match interview was happening with Dele Alli, and it just came up on the graphic at the
Kyle
bottom. Kyle Walker, and I was like, they've made a terrible mistake. It's unbelievable.
I
Like,
never even heard.
who can we get to replace
I
Kyle
had honestly
Walker?
never. Anyone ever heard of him before?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
I think they were
replaced-
hiding him, like
they
waiting
replaced-
for Walker.
Has this ever happened before, where somebody's been replaced
Musa
by the same?
Dembele,
He was never replaced by Musa Dembele.
John Collins,
Yeah,
John.
Collins John
Replaced John
announced-
Collins.
No,
No.
Collins John announced the signing for Fulham
Collins
of
John.
John Collins.
No, John Collins announced Collins John.
Sorry, confusing.
But the point is, no, like Kyle Walker replaced Kyle Walker. Has that ever happened before?
No, I don't think so.
It's the best thing that's ever happened. Okay,
yeah.
sorry. So,
It was brilliant.
yeah, the Hoffenheim game.
Liverpool are still dreadful. They got a good away win
Here.
in Europe, I'll
It's
say.
good
That
away
penalty
with-
miss wasn't great, was it?
It's the worst penalty.
Kamara, he played with Leicester, didn't he?
Yeah,
They had the second best defense in the Bundesliga last year. I think it was a good result.
it was, absolutely. But it's one of those matches where I'm not giving anyone any credit because
Fair enough.
Hoffenheim could have won it easily and Liverpool
I'll
could have
tell
won it
you,
easily.
you're
as well.
not out of the woods in that game because I
I
can
think we
see them scoring a set piece, and the whole of Anfield are like, ugh. Like I watched this
Do away
the
goals
Soccer
count?
Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah, well, then we're fine.
I saw the Soccer Saturday thing on Tuesday when that match was on, and Phil Thompson was doing the match, and he was literally shitting it every time there was a corner. He actually had his eyes closed.
You're actually alright with set
Like,
pieces.
but yeah, but apparently he did okay. But like,
It's great.
one game out of what 40
Out of
If
the
you've been
two
able to-
somewhere
been able to
else.
fucking-
One out of
2
two.
years of
Dan,
clock,
Dan,
like,
one,
you know.
one out of two.
That's fine.
Southampton and West Ham. West Ham.
Draw.
Oh, I think Southampton will both score.
And then
Risky.
the late kickoff. By the way, the Liverpool match is at 3 o'clock on TV. And then the late kickoff is Stoke and Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Arsenal's
Yeah.
shit there, but I think they'll just
Huddersfield
have
and
enough.
Newcastle. I'd love to see Huddersfield win again.
I think Huddersfield. I think there'll be a draw.
Spurs and Chelsea. Brilliant. We've already done that.
Yeah.
And City and Everton.
City.
City. Rooney to score. Now listen, do we have a teaser?
No, because I can.
I could have saved that Zidane one.
Could have, yeah.
Fantasy football. So, Dan, You're very prepared for the show today, as the listeners can tell.
Yeah.
Do you have the fantasy code handy?
No, I don't.
Did
I
we?
was literally out at work half an hour ago.
Did anybody over the last week post the fantasy code in any of our social media
Yes.
accounts?
It's a log lady.
John did.
You did, you beaut.
John
Okay.
put the old lady up.
I really want to push for this because I want us to have more people than last year. But unfortunately, we don't have the code to give out in audio form. We have to put in the comments of the video. But so far, how many people do we have? We have 18. So we're only 2 off. Or sorry, we're what? We're 4 off matching last year's target.
No.
We had 22 last
Did
year.
we?
Yeah.
So people just didn't renew. Like, that's not them dropping out. It's just they didn't renew their teams.
Yeah, well, no, I know they didn't, but anyway, my point is I want to get back to the big numbers. Okay, in 18th place with tossed salad, lowercase t for some reason with tossed, James Byrne, fix your spelling, mate. David Gogan moves like Agger in 16th.
Yeah, he asked for the code there the other day. Good man, Dave. He's a nice guy.
Gogan, one of my all-time favourite Irish surnames. Big Hard Dex, Stephen Vincent.
Look at this.
Stephen Vincent. Did he win last year?
He's won 2 years in a row.
Stephen Vincent, look, he will rise from the ashes like a phoenix. It's Stephen Vincent. He's immortal in this league. Dan O'Carroll with my favourite name, Lalanas in Pyjamas, in 15th place. What a shaky start, Dan.
Look, it's just means Steve Vincent will rise,
Locomotive Kilpetter. What's that about?
Kilpetter?
Locomotive Kilpetter.
Who is he?
But
He's
the
a friend
locomotive.
from work.
Can you ask your friend from work
What that
what
means?
the
I
gag
asked
is?
him loads. He can't explain it to me. I think he lives
As in
in
you
Kilperry.
can't understand it, or he's refusing to explain.
But like Locomotive Moscow.
Yeah, see, the
I
locomotive
don't
has an
know.
LOK. Well, fair play today. That's Stephen Lane enjoying 13th place with his mate.
I
from
hear,
work.
guys. This is really pathetic. Like, the bottom 6, there's 3 of us in it. Like, this is really after the first.
Was Neil in the bomb six?
No, I'm not.
Are you not?
No.
Oh.
Have I said my name yet?
Oh, so that's not you.
I might be in the
Dan
Europa
stops
League.
listening.
I might be in the
It's not
Europa
about him.
League spot for all you.
Oh, you've already said me.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. John Carroll in 13th. Dave Nolte, another constant with Dirty Michaels in 12th. Control Alt Delat. Ryan O'Doherty.
Yeah, we had to explain
in
that one to
11th.
Neil. He didn't
No,
know
you
who Richard
see-
Delat was.
I didn't know what yeah, not fair enough.
He's a Premier League medal, by the way, Richard Delat.
He does. Regis Care with Gutu Mupandawana. Can we who can contact
Who is Regis?
Regis
Kerr?
here
Who is he?
about
Is that your friend?
no.
Who's Regis?
John, do you know Regis? Regis must listen to the show. Wait a minute, do we find somebody who listens to the show that none of us knows? Because Regis was in this last week.
I just
last year.
thought he was your mate.
So we could have said Regis's name every episode last season,
Right.
and we never acknowledged him as maybe somebody who actually listens to the show every week.
No.
Unless he's a creep who just gets as many codes as he can from wherever he
Very
can.
likely.
Well done, Regis.
Regis, I hope you're
Fair
not a
play to
creep.
Regis.
And thanks for listening if you do. Keep an eye out for Regis.
Who is
Um,
Regis will be our next t-shirts to follow up to who's Gary Kieran.
Who is Regis? I think we should have a teaser next week. My tease this week. Who is Regis? See if anyone get back to us.
Reg Harrison with Fat Letitia. Has that not been used before? Come on, Greg. Ronan O'Reilly with AAA. That's minus A for effort. NK Dons, Noel Keeley. So he's changed it from Ratbanger United. His form is quite okay. Hyacinth Busquets.
Brilliant. Brilliant name.
Neil
My personal
Marshall.
favourite.
Thank you very much, Dan. John,
No one else understood it.
I had to explain it to everybody. Do you get it?
How
John?
do you not know
I
that?
don't get it.
John, did you ever watch Keeping Up Appearances, the BBC comedy?
Yes.
Do you remember what the name of the main character was?
Hyacinth Bucket.
Hyacinth. Her name was Hyacinth Bucket, but you'd say it's spelled book, but you say Hyacinth Bouquet. So I went
Okay.
Hyacinth
The
Busquets.
bouquet residence, lady of the house speaking.
See, it's not funny if you have to explain it.
It's not funny anyway.
Oh, it is. It is good. Hyacinth Buckets.
Breakfast Mbappe. Shane Lahart. That's another name change. He's on 67 points. Egg Fried Royce.
It's good.
That's great. That's Rob Normal. His brother with football team because, you know,
He just keeps it the same every year, to be fair. So
that's Tommy on 80 points. Adam joins with Boom.
Joyce just joined the league
Jakalaka.
now, did he?
Yeah.
He was on this-
Joyce with Boom Jakalaka on 82. And Danny Kilmartin.
Yeah, he joined us here as well.
Danny and Joyce in the league.
Look how happy Neil is.
Um,
All we need is Hoagie in the league. He'd be just delighted. Like,
have you seen Danny's name, John?
what is it?
Oh,
Who's ever let the dogs out? John, you would be so chuffed if you'd come up with that.
probably.
All right, everybody, we're going to add the code in the comments. Thanks very much for listening to this week.
Are we not doing spoofers and stuff?
Oh shit, did we? Is that something we used to do?
I have so many.
Dan, your hero of the week.
I don't know. Look, it didn't prepare.
We can skip it.
Not
right.
prepared, lads. Just John's prepared for this.
I have three.
He doesn't work hard like
I
me.
forgot.
I have 3 spoofers. Right.
All right, but that'll be one for each of us.
My hero. Can I do mine?
Yeah.
My hero of the week is Matt Hummels for doing the 1% of his wages thing. He got on board with it. Why can't I think who started it? Who fucking started it?
Oh,
I've never heard of it.
No, I've.
It's not Mata.
It's a good egg. It was Matt who started
Is it
it.
Mata?
It was Matt. Yeah,
okay.
it's a good egg.
Mata was. What charity is it for?
Of your choice, is it? Or
It's a
UNICEF,
charity
is it?
I think it's UNICEF or charity of your choice. 1% of your wages goes. You just set up a direct debit. 1% of your wages.
No, it probably just directed. It actually probably just taken out of it as well. It
Yeah.
doesn't even.
So Matt Hummels is the second high-profile player to do that. Goal of the week, I'll go with Ronaldo's in the first leg, and spoofer. I don't have a spoofer.
Okay, actually, I'll go now. Spoofer is Barcelona's board for letting the mess happen. Goal of the week is Asensio. The third goal in the new camp the other night was brilliant.
It was very good.
And hero of the week, I'm actually going for the Leeds owner, Vatrasani, who we drew Newport or some Notts County or some shit team or something in the Carling Cup, and their ground wasn't able to be used, so they had to go to Ellen Road, but Leeds are actually giving them their gate receipt that they should be getting anyway, and they said it's a lovely gesture because we've no money. So I think that was nice from Leeds. So yeah.
John, repeat everything you just said.
No. Something about Leeds. Right, so I've no hero of the week. My goal of the week is Stephen Ward, because of course it is. I have a few spoofers.
Stephen was on off the ball last night.
Of course he was. He scored a goal.
He does punditry for News Talk as well sometimes. He's a great lad. I just want to say that. He's a top lad. Go on.
I work with his family member. His
Really?
yeah.
He's a mate from school.
Yeah, I know
He wasn't really my mate.
but he's he was linked to Birmingham.
I remember the one
But he's
thing
signed a
about
new
him was how
contract, so it
big
looks
he
like he's
was.
staying.
He's so big.
He's huge.
He's so big.
But he's only about 6 foot, but he's like built like
Yeah.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go on.
All right, I have 3 spoofers.
Whoa.
One was Jamie Carragher when Trent scored his goal. Tweeted a photo of him with a young black mascot.
Sorry.
Trent Alexander, and then
No way.
John,
That can't be. That's
which
true.
I also shared.
John, when you repeat that, I was laughing so much I turned your mic off.
So Trent,
Because can I say, when he did tweet it, I bought it hook, line,
yeah,
and
I
sinker.
shared it as well.
Okay, go on.
Oh, it just looked like
so
it was
anyway.
a black child. Like,
No, he had a very similar forehead.
Yeah, it's a big head.
Yeah, big head.
Anyway,
And he's black.
When Jamie Carragher found out, Jamie Carragher then tweeted, "Sure, they all look the same anyway."
He didn't.
Swiftly deleted
He
that.
didn't. Did he?
Did he actually do that?
Yeah, but apparently Carragher sent a text, like he was texting someone when he sent the photo, and someone goes, "That's not Trent." And Carragher's like, "Yeah, I know, but they keep thinking it is." And
Oh
apparently
my
he
God.
Was that the
Trent
Arsenal
doesn't have-
4-4 game? It looked like it.
I don't think so. It might have been.
Oh.
I'd be very unhappy if
My
Jamie
next one
Carragher
is
said
someone I
that.
found out John Terry's having an awful
I think
time.
he was just having a laugh. Like.
John Terry's having an awful time at Aston Villa now because Aston Villa are terrible and they're like bottom, aren't they? They haven't got.
They
anything.
haven't won a game yet. But like, we just expect the players they
Has
bought.
Terry started every game?
Terry he's captain of the club. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John. Sorry.
He trains 3 days a week at Aston Villa, and the remaining 2 he spends at Chelsea's training ground, just in the baths with the players.
You're kidding
He
me.
doesn't still go back there, does he?
Yeah, 2 days a week.
That is so unhealthy for that. That is not good for that Chelsea squad, by the way.
Can I do my compulsory does he wear his kit joke?
Go ahead. He probably does.
Probably.
And my last one, this is just all good fun. As people who listen know, I'm a big film fan, and the famous football reviewer is Michael Owen, who's only ever seen 6 films.
It was 7, no?
Well, it might be
You
7.
watched
but
1 or 2 more in the last 2 years. I think.
anyway, he was lucky enough to this summer write some movie reviews.
Fuck off.
Of the 6 he saw.
So anyway, his favourite film is Rocky 4,
Look.
but he thinks Rocky 1 is shite.
Oh,
He saw Heat, said it was terrible.
that's bullshit.
He watched Cool Runnings with his wife and said he was in hell and had to pretend that he liked it.
Oh my God.
He saw Jurassic Park twice in 10 days because when he was signed for Liverpool, but he wasn't sure his dad wanted him to see other clubs, so he went to Man United's training ground and they took him to see Jurassic Park, and then a few days later he went to Arsenal and they took him to see Jurassic Park. And he said it was painful both times.
Arsenal looked to buy him.
Yeah, no, this is when he was a wee lad. Like.
When
right,
Jurassic Park was out,
Alright, yeah. It's like with Jurassic Park 3.
it wasn't like it had a rerun in HD in the cinema when Fergie was trying to bring him in his golden years.
93.
Yeah, go on there, John.
That was basically, that's just the one I wrote down. You saw Heat
Very
and thought it was
good.
terrible. It's very funny. Also, the Mike Ashley interview before the Newcastle game was absolutely amazing, where he's like, yeah, sack Sam Allardyce too early. And it was probably a bit harsh on Chris Hughton.
He was pretty hard on himself, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then he was like, I probably should have given. And then he also, do you see his court case where he just came out, I'm not really a social drinker, I'm more of a
Binge
drink
dr-
till I vomit.
Yeah,
I'm more of a
binge drinker. Yeah,
He does
said
all his
that-
dodgy deals in like pubs and clubs after 15 pints.
We need to find out where he
or a
drinks.
pint of wine like his
Pint of
former
wine.
employee
Get some
Sam.
ITK soccer show sponsoring, like, could
Yeah.
become the sports director.
We should get an ITK soccer show like kind of pint just for wine.
Yeah, with who was Regis.
And the winner, who was Regis?
Okay, everybody, thanks very much for
I'm going to go
listening
on
to the
Facebook
show.
and see who Regis is.
You can catch us at ITK Soccer Show on Twitter, facebook.com/ITK Soccer Show. If you enjoy the show, please feel free to share it and make other people aware of it. We are trying to do it every week this season, and it looks like we're actually going to be able to do it for the first time every week on time. At least Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday will be the release date per week. So do make people aware of it. It'll be something they can look forward to, and we look forward to doing it for you guys and everybody who listens out there. Until next week, enjoy the football, and the fantasy code will be in the comments below. Thanks.